back to another video, and in today's video we have 10 matches that we recommend you guys to watch before WrestleMania 41. Now these are all WrestleMania matches. Some of these you might have seen or at least heard of because some of these are some of the biggest matches that have happened at WrestleMania, but some of these you might not have heard of, and some that I would definitely recommend you go watch, and all for some certain different type of reason.
Yeah, we just have some of the, not necessarily all the best matches in WrestleMania history. That's not what the list is for, really. It's to show you the best versions, or at least our way of the best versions, in different categories of matches, different styles of matches, stipulation matches, and things of that sort.
Yeah, we're going to kick things off with our first match, and that is a most recent WrestleMania Night 2 main event, and that is Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, as mentioned, at WrestleMania 40 Night 2. Now this one is obviously really special because Cody finally finished the story. Now some people that kind of got really big, so I may have heard of that, but also the fan reaction after he gets the win, all the stuff that happens during the match with all the former legends was really cool, and yeah, just an overall such a spectacle of a match.
Yeah, and obviously the build to it, the involvement of The Rock, the final boss, and Seth Rollins, The Undertaker, which all these people you will find familiar if you watched every match on this list. We kind of gave you a different feeling of different people. We didn't want to put the same person too many times.
Yeah. This is a match where it's perfect representation of WWE and their booking, where it's sometimes overbooked and sometimes like a movie soap opera, but sometimes it comes out really good.
It's also last year, so it all kind of makes sense to watch that before.
Yeah. And next up, at WrestleMania 18, we had the clash of two icons in the wrestling industry. Now, it was Hulk Hogan and The Rock. Now, for these two, the match itself might not be the greatest. However, it is more about the fan reaction and just to show how big these two, like I said, icons, not only in wrestling, but in pop culture as well, and just the fan reaction to almost everything they did during that match.
Yeah, obviously this was The Rock before he was The Rock that we know today. This was still the biggest star in wrestling, The Rock, not the movie star, none of that yet. But the biggest star in wrestling versus the previous biggest star in wrestling. And then obviously look what has come for The Rock and where he's gone to from here. It wasn't, like you said, much about the match, just the crowd interaction, the way they were able to hype the crowd up at different points of the match. And every little thing that they would do would get big reactions. And it's just two professionals kind of working the crowd exactly how they want to.
Yeah. And then next up, we have WrestleMania 26 main event, and that is Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. Now, we picked this one because the previous year, WrestleMania 25, they did have a match, but 26 to me is the more important match. This is Shawn Michaels' retirement match, and unfortunately, he would have returned at a event that we don't speak about. But this match is a perfect match where just two guys who have such a great chemistry in the ring just made magic that night.
Yeah, everything that I said about the last match isn't what this match is. This is a really good match through and through. The storytelling was good. The match was good. They worked the crowd good. Just everything about this match was perfect. It's a great example of what a match should be at a WrestleMania, putting this much effort and thought. And keeping to mind the people's age at this time and the way they're putting their bodies through everything. But yeah, as a wrestling fan, just learning the Undertaker WrestleMania history is very important, learning about his streak, and just Shawn Michaels being Mr. WrestleMania is very important as well.
Yeah. And then next up at WrestleMania 17, we had the Hardys, the Dudley Boys, and Edge and Christian fight in a TLC match, just tables, ladders, and chairs, in what is one of the best extreme hardcore matches in WWE's history.
Yeah, for sure. Just it's one of the biggest tag teams in the world in the Hardys. Jeff Hardy had a great singles career. Matt Hardy as well had a pretty good singles career. Edge and Christian had great singles career. Not much on the Dudley side. They kind of stuck together as a tag team throughout their whole career. But this match, they all matched together. It was one of the first times something like this ever happened, and so just the fact that they were able to kind of think of these things and put their body through this. Obviously, there's a big history with these three teams. You're going to want to watch the full history as well, because these are three of the best tag teams in history, putting on some of the best tag team matches in history.
Yeah. And then next up, we have Shawn Michaels appearing again, aka Mr. WrestleMania, but this time versus John Cena at WrestleMania 23. Now, for this one, this is kind of the first time where I think Cena was accepted as like, okay, at least he can hang with some of the best. Shawn Michaels is one of the best professional wrestlers in the industry, and John Cena was able to at least hold up to Shawn Michaels' level. I think he retains the championship here, so yeah, it's just a huge moment for John Cena, and then what he would go on to be.
Yeah, John Cena was already a mega star at this point, basically, but having this match, beating Shawn Michaels, and just having the moment here was the biggest thing that could happen to him in the wrestling world. It was just basically, like I said, he was already the star, but this made it known that he was going to be a star for years to come, and that was the case because he's finishing off his final year this year.
And then next up, at WrestleMania 37 Night 1, we had the first singles women's match to ever main event between Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Now, these two women are two of the best that the company has ever produced, and one of the best matches that the company has ever had in the women's division. And yeah, just two women who again had great chemistry on the night and put on a phenomenal performance.
Yes, Sasha Banks is known as one of the best women. Unfortunately, not with WWE at the moment. But that's something you'll be able to catch up on, at a later date as a new wrestling fan. But Bianca Belair is still very much with the company, still one of the best, still putting on great matches, still has potential to main event even more WrestleManias in the future. But yeah, like you said, one of the best women's matches you'll see at a WrestleMania specifically. And, these women are always going to put on great matches. So hopefully we'll get to see them again one day.
Yeah. And then at WrestleMania 39 Night 1 main event, we had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens take on the Usos. Now, obviously, as a wrestling fan that you might be starting out, you might not know the full history between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, but it is a long, historied feud between friends that become enemies at times, but always come back together. But yeah, this is when they go against the best tag team of the modern era, the Usos, and what is a great moment. They both get back together to win the belts, and the crowd is also so into this match that they are into almost every move similar in a way to the Hogan and the Rock. I know obviously not on that level, but still a phenomenal match.
Yeah, if you're watching WrestleMania 41, you will be familiar with Jey Uso. He won the Royal Rumble this year. He's going on to maybe main event WrestleMania. We're not 100% sure on that part yet, but he will be facing Gunther at this year's WrestleMania. And this was him as a tag team star. That's pretty much what he was his entire career. So getting to know this part of Jey Uso is also very important to this year's WrestleMania.
And at WrestleMania 17 again, we had another classic match between Stone Cold and The Rock, two of the biggest names in the industry from the late 90s and early 2000s, going at it once again in what is a phenomenal match, but more importantly, the icon that is Stone Cold, the anti-establishment, anti-boss, who always does what he wants instead of what the boss wants, finally turns heel and joins the bad guy side in what was one of the biggest turns in wrestling history. And yeah, this match also, again, has that crowd reaction to keep you through it as well.
Yeah, Stone Cold and The Rock. You probably already know the names Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, even if you're not a wrestling fan. Those are just names that just kind of ring bells. You might not be familiar what they're from, but you know the name at the very least, I feel like. But yeah, two of, like you said, the biggest icons in wrestling. Stone Cold very much so, more so in the world of wrestling, but The Rock is world renowned, like we mentioned before. Just everyone knows The Rock pretty much at this point. But yeah, great match. Amazing people in the match, and just kind of the legacy of wrestling is kind of here in this match, and it's very much made history as this match went on and finished up.
Yeah. And then next up, we have a triple threat match between Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre, as mentioned at WrestleMania 39 Night 1. Now, this match might not have the three of the biggest names in the industry, but it is three of some of the best performers and best wrestlers in the company. It is three guys who hit each other very hard and just don't stop at any limits. Gunther at the time was the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion and would win this match to keep on going and to have officially the longest reigning Intercontinental Championship reign at a time where everybody thought that winning one of the matches that's going to eventually make him lose. Sheamus was chasing after his first Intercontinental Champion, so it was a big match that was just an incredible pure wrestling match.
Yeah, this is one of the better just matches in general, just match for match on here that you're going to see as far as just the in-ring talent. Drew McIntyre, you'll be very familiar with him watching today's product, as well as Gunther. Maybe not so much Sheamus, just kind of on and off at different times. But Sheamus is very well respected and renowned, just as much as Gunther and Drew McIntyre, if not even more. But yeah, just an amazing match to watch. It happened not too long ago, so all these people are very in the world of wrestling still to this day.
And then last but not least, in our last match for this video, we have Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 39 Night 1 again, in what is possibly considered the best women's match. Obviously, I was mentioned earlier, the Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair match is very good, but this one I can see people saying was better. And yeah, this is Rhea Ripley, who some of you might know about, and she had probably her best match in her career, and honestly Charlotte's career. It is kind of passing of the torch moment as well for Charlotte to Rhea. And yeah, it was a phenomenal match as well.
Yeah, it was a star-making moment. Before this match, Rhea was definitely a star already. However, after this match, she became a mega star. She is the face of women's wrestling. When people mention women's wrestling, you mention Rhea Ripley. People, like I mentioned with Stone Cold and whatnot, people know Rhea Ripley outside of the world of wrestling just from TikToks and videos and Twitter, wherever it might be. But yeah, Rhea Ripley is one of those people that is kind of just an icon in wrestling, which is very rare to say about a lot of women, unfortunately.
Yeah, and yeah, pretty much another thing to add to this video is if you want to watch a full WrestleMania, WrestleMania 39 Night 1 for a modern pick is probably your best bet. It is just some of the best action. Every match on the card that night was amazing. And yeah, and a classic one I guess would be WrestleMania 17 if you want to watch a full WrestleMania. That's another classic one that a lot of people really do like as well.
Yeah, for sure. And there's obviously NXT that you could catch up on. A lot of the younger talent are there. They have a WrestleMania-like event called Stand and Deliver. You could watch it last year's and check out the triple threat match with Josh Briggs, Obafemi, and Dijak. Really good match if you want to check out some younger talent, do their thing. But yeah, that is our top 10 WrestleMania matches you should watch before WrestleMania. But yeah, appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching us, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.